Welcome to the Tiger Nexus Podcast, a place where you'll find interviews with content creators and geeks alike. Your host, Tiger, has delved upon the Nexus and found interesting content creators and geeks of all fandoms. This podcast is connected to the Zero Hero Network. And now, we dive in with another episode!
Hello everybody and welcome to the Tiger Nexus podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Tiger, and welcome to another episode to our little sub-series, Press Start and Level Up, where we talk about video games and all the things about video games. Of course, I'm joined by my co-host, Anthony. Hello, Anthony, how are you?
Hello, I'm very good.
How's life?
I'm good, how is yours?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm enjoying the weather a little bit, can't deny it's been quite nice.
It has been good. I've been going on the walks.
Yeah, it hasn't been, blistering sun, but it's been nice, the breeze is nice, it's not too, it hasn't rained as much or anything.
It's not a heat wave yet.
Not a heat wave just yet, no. So Wales, we're doing good right now. So we spoke about Pokemon Scarlet, and I have now completed the first DLC, the Teal Mask, and that is the topic of today's episode. Of course, Anthony has surpassed me in Pokemon Scarlet in general, so I'm the new one here, and I enjoyed it. I did find one of the story points a bit. I got annoyed at one of the story plot points. I wanted to punch a couple of the characters in the face because half their problems could have been solved if they just opened their mouths. But, other than that, I thought it was good.
I have problems with the first DLC.
Go on, please, explain.
Oh god, the two characters there, it's just kind of insufferable at this point.
Thank you. Oh my god, yes.
They are I don't mind them in the second one. In the first one, and it is just talk to each other and your problem is resolved.
Literally, right? So, I don't mind Carmine in the second one, as what I've seen so far, and Kieran I don't mind in the second one. I do like the fact that he's had a bit of a story arc between the two. I like that kind of connection. But just going off the first one, Carmine's just a bit of a fucking trying to be a know-it-all, and it does my head in. And Kieran's a whiny little bitch. And then when they find out things and certain things revealed, all she had to do was open her mouth. That is it.
Yeah.
And because she decides to keep her mouth shut and doesn't tell Kieran the truth, then Kieran's now a whiny little bitch until the end, and even though when you finish it, he's still a whiny little bitch technically. And it's just
he's so self-entitled. It's so annoying. It's like, he hasn't chosen me. Boo-hoo.
Even though, right, he says to you, fight me for basically ownership of Ogerpon, and you kick his ass, and then he whinges about it.
It's not even just that, though. It's like the entire DLC is about the feelings of this creature, and he decides, do you know what? Sob the feelings of this creature. Let's bypass its feeling. Fight me for it.
Yeah.
And he lays down a pink slip for a Pokemon. He's so annoying in the first one.
Yeah, I do like the fact that we have a new map, and the fact that it's the story of it too, why there's a new map. You're going on a school trip. I like that it works with the main storyline, being that, in Pokemon Scarlet you do go to an academy, and stuff. So it works really well. I like the way they went about that. It's not just a case of, oh, hey, new map for you. No, there's actually a reason. I like the reason. It's cool. I did like that. I do find the map kind of nice. It's okay, sure, it looks kind of the same in some areas, but at least it's different enough. And I like the additional Pokemon too. I like the fact that, there's additions to the Pokedex, and I got to see some of the Pokemon that I haven't really been able to play with before because I never had a 3DS, so I missed out on any of the generations on 3DS I've never played before. So I've missed out on quite a few generations. So there's been Pokemon that are I've looked at and I'm like, oh cool, who's this thing? Caught it, read its Pokedex entry, and then I've Googled it later, and I'm like, holy crap, that came out in like X and Y. Fuck me, that's like this ain't new at all, but it's new to me, so that's a bit nice. I like that. That's really cool.
Well,
I'm enjoying that aspect.
of course, Scarlet and Violet performance problems and stuff constantly on the Switch 1. If I get a Switch 2, probably get one for the new games when they come out. What is in 2027?
Yeah.
I'll have a look back on the Switch 2 on how they perform, because I've heard there's good performance issues, but like the DLC is kind of held back a bit by performance issues in that regards for me. Like things just kind of more slow there, and like I'm on an OLED too, and that's like the more like better performance one wise. But aside from that, I don't mind any of the areas. They're pretty cool. I like stuff like the woods are good. I like the gorge as well, like the little water area with all like the pillars. I find that area is cool. And up top, I really like the crystal pool. Like
Yeah,
at the
no,
top.
that's pretty. Yeah, I like the big mountain area.
That thing at the end is also really cool, but I'm not gonna say any more than that.
I like the only issue I had was right at the top of the main mountain you've got to get to. I kept on going, yeah, fuck the pathway, I'll just scale the fucking thing using
Yep.
yeah, right. So because of that, that's when my performance issues would kick in. The textures would get really weird, and it kind of looked like Koraidon was running up, kind of like a water painting. That's like the only way I can explain it. That's the
Very
like,
watercolor.
yeah, like that's the only major one I've noticed, like firsthand, is the textural differences, and it's mostly when I'm using Koraidon going from one area to another incredibly like quickly. Like when I jump off a ledge and I glide, that's when things change too, and stuff. So that makes things look a bit higgledy-piggledy and weird, personally. But yeah, so storyline wise, we do have obviously you go to a school trip and you meet Carmine and Kieran, who are from a different school, Blueberry Academy. Which what's really weird is I'm watching the anime with Logan, and they kind of release it in sections. So we're season 3, we're halfway through season 3, and this second section ends with them saying they're going to go to Blueberry Academy whilst I was live streaming it too. So I found that kind of cool. So I look forward to that. So new characters, new Pokemon to catch, and the at the beginning you kind of just have to go and like learn about the history of the island, really, and it's just like, hey, go take these pictures, with your team. And then we learned that we have kind of like a folklore tale of an ogre who's terrorizing the village, and 3, like they call them the loyal 3, kind of like legendary heroes who kind of stop the ogre. And I actually kind of liked that part of the story where it's a whole thing that everyone believes in. They even had this whole festival like dedicated to it, and everyone's wearing masks because of it and stuff. And then you find out that actually it's the complete opposite way around, where the loyals are actually the bad guys. They're actually like not very nice Pokemon, and the ogre, air quote, is actually the nice Pokemon. So I like that part of the story, and that was quite a nice little flip. And that's where it kind of where Kieran and Carmine annoyed me, because obviously Carmine says to you, hey, don't tell Kieran about the fact that his favourite thing in the world is actually complete opposite. And it's just like, hang on, no, if you told him, he'd be fucking... Because he actually convinces everyone at the end as well. He tells everyone the story. He's the reason why all the villagers actually agree. And it's just like, this could have been
You're
sold
forced
4
to
hours
lie
ago.
to him.
Yeah.
And that's like one. It's like you are forced to lie. What I do like about it, though, it's like I believe it is based on a real, or like based on a real Japanese folk tale. I think it's Momotaro is the folk tale it's called. So it is based on it, and I think it's about a boy and his 3 companions, if I remember correctly. And of course, the 3 companions in this case being, Okidogi, Monkey Dory, and Pheasantipity.
I love that name, by the way. Pheasantipity. That is fantastic. It's a great name. Like, maybe not for a Pokemon, but that just is a fun word to say. That's great. So obviously we got given 4 new, like, are they all legendaries or are they mythical? Like, what have they been
I'm
classed as?
I want to so I wouldn't classify them as mythical because mythical is kind of separated into limited time event stuff. You're looking at stuff like Genesect,
Right, okay.
Victini. There's I'm just naming Gen 5 ones now. Manaphy, Fion, um, Celebi is one. It's
So,
any of those released via events, is it Zora Aura or whatever his name is? The newest one is the electric, almost
yeah,
Lucario-esque.
yeah. So according to Google, yes, the loyal 3 are legendary Pokemon.
So yeah, I'd classify them as legendary, and
Yeah.
Ogerpon is also legendary. He's my favorite in that. I love the mask gimmick.
I was literally about to say, what's your thoughts? We'll go like down the list of each one. So Ogerpon, yeah, absolutely. I was, when you go around and collect the masks and you fight them, I have noticed something. They got the main game gimmick and separated it between the 2 DLCs. So this one is the Titan battle all over again.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go around
Yeah.
and like it's the same sort of thing. It's fine. I don't mind kind of doing it. It is different. You know, you're not going around fighting gigantic Pokemon and like dwindling them down. You know, you're fighting Pokemon that are holding masks and you have to reclaim the masks. It's slightly different. But Ogerpon's great. I think he's really adorable. I actually find him really cute. And I love the mask gimmick. You can change the mask, which is great. I love
Changes
the
his
club
main move too.
Yeah, I love the club thing he does. The fire one is absolute OP on some Pokemon. Holy shit!
So the mask, I believe, actually changes his ability, if I remember correctly, which means I think it's the ability, and they make it so like the fire one, he can raise his attack when he hits, and stuff like that. So it is really really cool.
Yeah, so Teal Mask raises attack when stats are lowered. Wellspring Mask heals from water moves and is terrestrializing boosts special defense. Half Flame Mask ignores opponents' abilities completely, and Cornerstone Mask prevents one-hit knockouts and increases defense when terrestrializing. So like you get to play around with each mask, and all you gotta do is go to your menu. You can swap them out whenever you want, which is great. Obviously
Just
not in
an item.
battle, but like you know, it is just an item that you got to give to him. And naturally, he holds the Teal Mask as well, so you've only got 3 to like equip if you wish.
He also has the best looking terrestrialization because of the mask too.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought
Because
that up.
the mask comes up big, and it's not a stupid jaw crown sitting on top of his small little body.
Yeah, so I was really intrigued because he doesn't terrestrialize until you fight him after Kieran. So like when I'm, you know, going through the story, I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck is this going to work? Because like you said, he's a dirty little dude. You know, he's like half your height. So I'm like, he's cute and all, but how is terrestrializing going to work here? And so I'm so happy that it's the mask, and it's big, and each mask looks really cool. That's how I think terrestrialization should have worked, you know. But yeah, Ivy Cudgel, whatever, however you pronounce it.
Ivy Cudgel, yeah.
Yeah, that is such a good move for fighting. And also, I find, like I said, the fire one is obliterate certain Pokemon. Like, holy crap, that's such a good one. But yeah, he's a fun little Pokemon. I think he's really cool, and I like the fact that the masks do play a big part, not only the storyline, but with the Pokemon. And you do spend half the DLC collecting masks, and you get to use them afterwards, which some games don't even let you do that. So, you know.
My biggest thing with it though is that it sits in an awkward position, level wise. If you complete Scarlet and Violet and you do the DLCs, you go in and you battle people, and like your first battle with Carmine is a Poochyena.
Yep.
You know, it's a level 63 Poochyena. even then, you're leaving the league, and after you've battled Nimona, you're probably like 66-ish, 65, 66, around there. So like you're already kind of high level, but then like, so it is meant to be like, well, you can play it whilst going through the story, but the issue is it's supposed to be, oh look, it's a field trip that you go away and then you come back type thing. But the level scaling of it makes it feel like you kind of have to leave the area and then come back after doing another gym or like another trial or something like that, because like again, we'll take the first battle with Carmine. If you don't have any badges or whatever, or you haven't beaten the league, the Poochyena is level 12.
Yeah, so I obviously completed the main storyline first.
Yeah.
So I did the league, I beat the champion, and I did all of that first. I did everything main story wise. So when I got to fighting her, yeah, she was quite high leveled, and I think it was actually Crydon and my Skeledudge that won me the fight. Because they were my two highest leveled, because Crydon sat at like level 70, and at the time Skeledudge was in his 72 level wise. So
Yeah.
I managed to kick his ass. But on that, Kieran isn't that weak either now as well. And as time goes, like the final fight with Kieran, I actually like I was sweating, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, like my Crydon and my Skeledurge and the other Pokemon I managed to catch, they were all decent leveled and I had decent stats and like I had a good like sort of routine of what moves to use and stuff. But he can kick some ass, bro. Like the final fight with him.
It did start getting more competitive, so they all had decent abilities on them. They all had berries that helped them,
Oh god, the berries, dope.
apart from Diplim, who had leftovers. Then of course, like the shift tree, it's super weak. It has focus sash, so like it is more competitive. But I feel like it just sat in that weird area of like, if you play it throughout the story, you kind of got to come back and forward to it, and then like it doesn't feel much like that whole like school trip-esque thing. And then if you play it at the end, then you more than likely have an over-leveled thing, unless you're like lowering yourself.
Yeah. That's where um I understand why they're doing that, because it is meant to be like, you know, challenging and stuff, and technically the only major thing you've got to do in the storyline is fight the three Pokemon. So like I can kind of see why they made it like near the end, you know, both of them get a bit stronger and shit. But it's like, yeah, I can kind of see what you're saying there, 'cause especially if you do it throughout the story. Like I left it till last just because I was live streaming it, so that's just the way that I did things.
Well,
But
even if you play it normally, you've probably beaten it before the DLC come out. If you just buy Pokemon, you play it, you probably beat the game, and then the DLC comes out and you play it. And that's just my one problem with the DLCs. It's my same problem is with Sword and Shield. Is there's DLCs for that too? Is that the first one does a similar thing?
yeah.
It's kind of covered a bit better in the second DLC, but that's another conversation.
So with the other three legendaries, let's go one by one. Munkadori, you know what we're thinking about Munkadori. I do like the fact that they all have one syllable aspect, which is a chain, which I do use Okadogi quite a bit, and I like the fact that is it Toxic Chain? I think their abilities are called.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that it has a chance of poisoning Pokemon, which I found comes in handy. But yeah, Munkadori, I think it's another monkey. I like the fact it's not exactly monkey shaped. Love the color palette. I love the color contrast on the Pokemon. I think the colors are great. Move set that you get when you catch him, it's okay. I find his the is it Toxic Wave, whatever it's called. It acts like Surf, but it's a poison type move.
Yeah.
I find that comes in handy sometimes. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Munkadori, if I'm pronouncing that correct?
He's fine. They don't feel too legendary to me, any of them. But then like I also don't really tend to use legendaries. I used Ogerpon, but that's for specific reasons. That's for a story for another time as well. If and when we cover the second DLC.
Yeah, fair. I used Ogerpon quite a lot, to be fair, since I
So,
caught him. No, I understand what you mean. These three, because like we just discussed, I had to Google it to find out they're legendary. Like that's
yeah.
how non-legendary they feel. Fens and Dibbity. I actually do like not exactly the way it looks, but the way it acts, like his personality. I do like that it acts different to other birds. I know that's a weird thing to say, but yeah, odd typing. I wouldn't call it a fairy type by the look of it. I was quite shocked to find out it's a fairy type.
Poison Fairy's interesting too.
Yeah,
Because they're all poison, aren't they?
yeah, they're all poison and something.
But Pheasantipity is probably my favorite. I will say, it's just an issue with the 3D. The 2D art for them make them look a lot better.
No, I
But
understand that because I've got the images on screen for
also,
reference points and stuff, and the image they use for Fens and Dibbity looks great compared to what he looks like in the game.
it reminds me of the bad guy from Kung Fu Panda 2.
Oh my god, that's it. Thank you so much. Oh my god, that is it. I literally have been saying since I caught the bastard. What does he remind me of? It's not a Pokemon, but he kind of looks like something now that you said that. It's the bad guy from Kung Fu Panda 2, which is actually one of my favorite bad guys in Kung Fu Panda.
But like
Oh my god.
I do like probably my favorite. It gets so they all um get call it off things, don't they, too? But they're also like monkey. Like he's a legendary Monkey Dory, right? But
Yeah.
his stats are low. Like he's got 555 base stat total. His highest being speed and special attack, so he's like a special sweeper and stuff. So like that's low for a legendary. Like considering like pseudo legendary Pokemon are like Salamence and stuff like that, and they sit 600. But they all have like that, like like Pheasantipity is a special defense wall, like they're meant to like, but it's also kind of fast, and it's a physical attacker, which is weird, but I do like the look.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Okidogi is the one that I've used the most, only because I found the poison fighting dual typing coming in very in handy with certain fights that I've kind of like thrown myself in. Um, the only thing I will say, he's the only one that looks like he's got a chain, because like that's the whole point of
He
their like
looks like a dog on
design.
a chain, yeah.
Yeah, so like the other two, yeah, okay, I understand where they're going with it. With Monkadori, his
It's
is
just a
meant to
little
be like,
headband.
yeah, so but it doesn't look like a chain though. There's only got one loop, and the rest of it is like kind of looks like it's been woven together. And then
It looks like
Fensitivity,
almost ropish, like
yeah,
ropish.
and then Fensitivity is around the chest. And yes, okay, there's two sections, but it still doesn't look like a chain. It
It's just
looks
some
like a
ribbons.
sash. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it looks like something like so. Like the. I think Okidogi does actually look like I said, a dog on a chain, and the way that it comes around the neck, it looks like it's a chain on a dog, which is kind of cool. Again, I will say, color palette wise, I like the colors they went with because it goes well with the weird almost black they've gone for. So I am liking the color palette, I
so
will
I
say.
find it kind of interesting. Like you look at you know, Okie green black, Monkey Dory, black like blue black, and then you got Pheasantipity, which is like white, black, orange, pink, yellow.
Yeah, yeah, like
It's so different.
yeah, he's a bit. You could say he's a bit far fetched. Sorry, Pokemon pun there.
Terrible,
Um,
terrible.
but yeah, like out of the three, I think Fens and Divity's got like one of the better designs. I have used Okotogi a bit more, But I am wanting to try out the other two as well. Ogerpon, out of the four, Ogerpon's been the one I've used the most. I find him great. He's such a good, especially when it comes to like the stats change with the masks and stuff. I have swapped around the mask a couple times, and it kind of gives you the ability to experiment without losing too much. You know, like in Pokemon, you can give Pokemon a new move, but you have to lose a move and stuff, you know, and like you can boost stats and stuff, like doing that sort of thing. But with Ogerpon, you can give him a different mask, change his stats entirely. It changes one of his moves technically, and you don't lose anything. So you get to experiment like really quick, and just like you can literally do a fight with Ogerpon wearing one of the masks, finish that fight, swap masks into another fight in a completely different, like it changes things, which is great, and that hasn't really happened in Pokemon before. So I'm liking that.
Another little cool detail I've just realized between them is that him wearing a mask or not wearing a mask and what mask it is actually changes his attack animations.
Oh, does that actually?
Yeah, so
Oh, I haven't noticed that. I did notice. Big Kingdom Hearts fan here, so like my inner Kingdom Hearts fan was liking this. Depending on which mask you wear, changes his actual outfit color.
yeah,
Which that happens in Kingdom Hearts a lot. When depending on which what form you use, it changes Sora's clothes, which abilities you use. So like I'm liking that, and it matches with the which mask do you think is the best, like best designed out of the four?
oh, I do kind of like the base grass one, like with
Yeah,
the antlers and all that.
it also is the one that personally actually has a bit of a personality to it, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like the other three are good, but this one actually, like, even Wellspring, like, is meant to look like it's crying, but it just looks like a painted on mask. Where the Teal Mask actually has some, like, it kind of feels like it's a part of Ogerpon more than the other three.
I can't tell what the stone one is trying to convey. Is it happy? Is it laughing? Is it
See, I always thought it
Is
was.
it sad? Is it
I
angry?
I always thought it was just like derpy, you know, like it's the dumb one.
Yeah.
That's the way I've always
Like
portrayed.
the fire one has just got a grumpy face on it.
Yeah,
Like,
which is annoying because a lot of the fire type Pokemon are either angry, annoyed, or like dumb, and it's just like, well, hang on a minute, why can't fire type Pokemon be fun too? I'm confused. But yeah, the masks are really cool. I think Teal Mask is the best looking one. Looking through the Pokedex, some of the Pokemon I haven't caught all these, but some of the Pokemon that you can get that I've never been able to do anything with, which, you know, I've either gotten or I'm looking forward to actually doing something with, which is always fun. Is of course things like Morpeko. Never ever owned a Morpeko in my life. I can't wait to catch one of them. That's one of Logan's nicknames. Chargerbug and Vikavolt, thanks to the anime, I think Vicavolt's absolutely fucking awesome. So that's gonna be fun to catch. I'm looking forward to that one. The so there's Mimikyu. He's one that I've
yeah.
never been able to do anything with. Cramorant, I think is how you pronounce it.
Oh yeah.
I love the idea that Cramorant has the ability to shoot a Pokemon out of his mouth. That is just fucking funny. Stupid but funny. So yeah, there's quite a few Pokemon that I've, like, because I've missed generations, I've never been able to even like play around with before, which is great. And like, you know, there's always the convergent Pokemon, I think they're called. You know, like Toadschool and Toadscrool, you can catch them here. Poltergeist and
Yeah, it was like the new take on regional stuff. It was
yeah.
convergent, so evolution, which kind of makes sense. Yeah, I think it's quite an more kind of interesting take on the regional stuff. Like it's kind of like, you know, Zigzagoon growing up in Britain turns into a punk. Nice, like it. But like Diglett, like one single Diglett line converging into like a ground type and a water type is kind of cool. Even though he turns into like your basic like Aqua Jet physical
Yeah,
water attacker, which is so boring and basic.
so to explain it, basically, a regional form is where a Pokemon is in a different climate, a different atmosphere, and it then adapts. Where a convergent Pokemon is a completely different species that are very, very, very similar to a Pokemon that we already know. So it kind of works a similar way of like a rabbit and a hare. You know, they can look very similar, but they are different animals. Basically the same thing. So like Toedscruel and Tentacruel, they look very similar. You could almost say they're the same Pokemon, but they're not. They are actually different Pokemon. And I do like Toedscruel. I've used Toedscruel quite a bit actually in my walkthrough of Teal Mask. I like using them. They're really cool. I also like the color palette. I got because I like drawing. I have a thing for color palettes. I really like Toadscruel's color palette.
Yeah. So, because you said like you haven't played them, so like they did only add what I think it was 7 or 8. I think they don't really count Blood Moon Ursaluna, but I'd count it. That one's been my favorite of the new additions. So they only added 8 new ones with the DLC. But of course, like you hadn't played the others, so of course you get to like experience more new types, which I find is.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons why I like doing these, especially because I'm live streaming them too. Is because, like for example, going through the second DLC, I've met some of the regional forums which I never got to play around with before either. So that's been really fun too, and stuff like that. And like I will play Legends ZA because I've never done Mega Evolve before, so that'll be different and new for me too, and things. So. But yeah, like looking at the Pokedex, it's decent. You get what is it, 200? Yeah, there's 200 new Pokemon.
They add 200 more to the decks. 7 and 8 of them. Well, again, the Blood Moon Ursaluna one is a weird one to consider because Ursaluna got added with Legends Arceus, but now this is a new form on Ursaluna that you can only get from playing Scarlet and Violet. And it's significantly better.
Yeah, I need to see. This is kind of like in what I meant by like I need to go around and just play the game without doing the storyline, and I just need to live stream it and just have some fun playing Pokemon. I've got a Teddiursa. I could level it up into a nursery. I could possibly get Ursaluna. I've never obviously played around with Ursaluna before, and the Blood Moon thing that looks sick as fuck.
So, as a heads up to that one, you can only get, I think now, you can only get Ursaluna from playing Arceus, and you have to catch Blood Moon Ursaluna from playing Scarlet and Violet. You can't level up an Ursaring, which is just a letdown.
Fair enough. Yeah, that is a bit of a letdown, to be fair. But yeah, lots of different, like, I'm looking at, what, Dragon and Fighting, Dark and Fire, like, dual typing. I absolutely love the fact that I can get a Lombre and a Ludicolo, because I've always loved those Pokemon. I think they're great. And, the one thing that I find absolutely funny is my pure excitement, when I saw a Politoed. I got so excited. I was like, oh my god, I get a Politoed, let's go. I was so excited about it. It was great. I don't know why I got so excited. Did so 2 things that happened during my walkthrough of Teal Mask. So I ran into the professor who takes you to your school trip. He's in the middle of nowhere, and he gives you a Pokemon egg. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll keep it. That's awesome. I'll keep it. Let's hatch the thing. Obviously, it's a Piplup, which I was very happy about because I love that generation starter Pokemon. Within the same live stream, I think I managed to hatch the egg and then get it to Empoleon because I just kept it in my team and I battled everything. And obviously, it just gained a bunch of XP. Love Empoleon. Empoleon's amazing. One of my favorite water types. And it's obviously Water Steel, which can come in handy sometimes. So I thought that was pretty cool. The fact that you're able to get I know that in the second one you can catch pretty much every starter Pokemon if you do the requirements to do so. But I did like the fact that it gave you just a random a random Pokemon. I don't know if it is randomized. Is it randomized, or did you also get a Piplup?
I can't remember what I got the first time. What's his name? Can't remember his name now. The professor. It's the science teacher, isn't it, from the school? I think he can give you like a Turtwig.
Mr.
Stuff.
Jack is his name.
Oh, it's based on the starter you picked.
Oh, is this just opposite to the start? Because I picked for Coco, so I'm assuming that's
Yeah.
why I got Piplup. So who's your first starter Pokemon in Scarlet?
I picked. God, I didn't use them. I picked Meowscarada, so Sprigatito. But
Right, so that means you got Chimchar then.
Again, I played, for those who have not heard before, I played the game weirdly, and I beat the entire game with just a Pormo.
Yes, he has. Anthony is weird. Let me just label it that way.
and just a Pormo.
So yeah, that was fun. I liked that. I now like the idea that it changes the egg that you get, depending what star Pokemon you get. That's cool. And
that's one.
What?
Did you get the Hisuian Growlithe as well from Parent?
No, I can get a Hisuian.
You can get a So there is a way to do it. I'm not sure if you have to catch every single Pokemon though first.
Oh Jesus Christ! Okay.
She asks you to do stuff. There's a woman in the town. If you haven't talked to her, she's the one that leads you to Blood Moon Ursaluna. She's called Perrin. She's like a descendant from Arceus.
Okay, that makes sense why you get an Hisuian Pokemon. Yeah, right.
And then she gives you the Hisuian Growlithe that has the hidden ability Rockhead. And
ooh, okay.
So it's really cool.
Again, I just want to go around and just explore the game. I just
there's so much you can mix. The one I missed on my main one, I missed the 2 rich people you can just talk to, and they just keep giving you money if you beat them in battles.
Fair. Are they the snobby duo?
Yeah, the two rich snobby people.
Don't you have to fight one of them first?
You can you fight them, but you can fight them across the entire region. And you just keep on finding them.
So that's the second thing I was going to mention was during my just traveling between destination to destination, I ran into 2 people that kind of like looking over a cliff or like a hill or whatever, and they're really snobby little cunts. They are so snobby. Oh my god! Yeah. And they look down on you like you're like a peasant. It's great.
And trash.
Like you're absolute just diabolical. Like you're just a wet wipe. That's literally all you are to them. You have to battle them, and then they they say goodbye and they leave and stuff, and then it also states that you can go find them again. I was like, okay, so I wonder if they, if I can fight them again and stuff. So yeah, I find them quite amusing, and it's just funny that in such a place like Kitakami, you have these just 2 snobby little bastards. I find it very funny.
Yep.
But yeah, that I ran into those 2. So yeah, I definitely just need to explore. Pokemon is one of those games where like you're rewarded for going around and catching Pokemon and talking to everyone and and stuff like that. It's always happened in Pokemon. So I definitely need to do more of that. So if you had to rate the DLC out of 10. You can rate it in any way that you wish, but if you had to rate out of 10, what would you give the Teal Mask DLC?
I'd say a 6.
Okay, a 6.
I'd say a 6, and I know in modern day society we treat a 6 as terrible, but it is like you can use the entire range. People, 1 is bad, 1 is terrible, 10 is like the best thing. So 6. I have problems with the first one, but there's also stuff in there that I like. It's again, to me, I've played the games a few times. I've had to do the DLC a few times, and it's often felt like a stepping stone to the second DLC for me.
Yeah, that's fair. So I did enjoy it for the most part. Again, the fucking two main characters just, oh my god. Like, it's actually agonizingly painful. And like you said, you have to lie, you have to be involved. And it's just like, fuck's sake, man, just open your mouth, it's not hard. Like, literally, if they didn't lie, if she doesn't lie, it solves 40 to 50% of the DLC, literally. you know,
Yeah.
so like, and like in the second one, she complains about Kieran's like change of character, and it's basically her fault, really, if you want to point fingers. So yeah, that that's and it's most of it too, and it's like, oh my god, it's agonizingly painful.
There is
It's
one really good thing they did add in that, aside from that, isn't a Pokemon that isn't this, but it's obtained in the most annoying way, and I've just been reminded that exists.
and that is
And that is the fresh start mochi. As someone who's played competitive and bred competitive stuff, a thing that allows you to reset all like a Pokemon's base stats, like its points. It's really good.
fair.
But you have to play the mini game where you pop a bunch of balloons.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and it's annoying.
So with I love the fact, like I said, there's different Pokemon that I've never got to do anything with. That's always intriguing for me. Love the fact you can get a different starter Pokemon. I'm always a big fan of that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say 6.5, and the reason why it's not higher is just because it does drag a bit. You know, the storyline is basically half of it just them arguing, not even arguing, they just don't talk. It's like, guys, seriously, you're meant to be siblings, grow the fuck up. Um, the three air quotes legendaries, like you said, doesn't seem like legendaries. Ogerpon's great. I loved Ogerpon. I think he's adorable. I really hope he does appear in the anime at some point, because they'd have used the Indigo Disc main legendary in the anime. So I really hope Ogerpon makes an appearance. I am liking, and like I said, it gives you a lot of freedom and exploration, and you can test things out how you want to play with Ogerpon, which is fun. Pokemon doesn't get to do that a lot. So yeah, I think 6.5. It's okay. It's not fantastic. It's not brilliant, but it's a fun time if you like played Pokemon in a Pacific way. I think you'll enjoy it. And like you said, it's a stepping stone to the second one, which so far I am only halfway through, and I think I'm enjoying it a little bit more than the first one personally. So
Yeah, definitely. Oh, quick note. That I've just remembered as well with it. Ogerpon is a female. It's always going to be a female. I completely forgot about that.
okay.
So
Cool.
if just as hey, I've now just realised that no, she is just a little guy, and all the other ones are always male too.
Oh, so basically what you're saying is the whole folklore is just them being sexist. Basically, it's just them being sexist. That's all it is. It's not the fact there's an ogre. No, you're just that all three of them are sexist bastards. Basically,
Don't like women here.
yeah, they just didn't want a girl around. That's literally it. But yeah, cool. Well, that's us done talking about the Teal Mask DLC. We have spoken about Pokemon Scarlet. She can definitely check that out. I am in the middle of live streaming the Indigo Disc DLC, but I also live stream other games too. So it may take a little while to get to the Indigo Disc. I am currently stuck. It is a lot more trickier than the Teal Mask, so we will do it. Just give me some time. But nevertheless, the next time Anthony jumps on and we do another episode of Press Start and Level Up, we'll be diving into different things. We're not just going to be diving into games themselves, but gaming as well, game mechanics and stuff. So I'm looking forward to the next couple episodes with Anthony. Thank you, Anthony, again for, of course, jumping on. It's been a blast.
Always willing. Always look forward to it.
And yeah, of course, if you guys are listening to the podcast platforms, don't forget to rate us. If you're listening on the YouTube channel, please subscribe. We're so close to 100 subscribers. Please, it's so close. And yeah, thank you all for listening. And of course, make sure you check out the Linktree Tiger Entertainment Network. Join the Discord server. I keep forgetting to mention that in podcast episodes. We have a Discord server now, so you guys can come by and chat with us. Anthony's also there too, by the way. So, like, you know,
No one would know. I witness what you do in there.
Hey, I'm not that bad. Jeez.
Not you, don't know your audience. I see what your audience do in there.
Yeah. The audience can sometimes be hit or miss, but thought I'd just mention it. So yeah, thank you all for listening. Of course, we love you all, roar of passion, and we shall see you guys in the next one.